The studio. That's right, I'm back in the studio.
Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to seven, and the creator of what is going to be the number one most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? I hope you're doing so very well. I am doing so very well. I'm back here in my studio in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm super stoked and excited about that. Today is Thursday, I believe. I was wrong yesterday on the day. But today is Thursday, June 27, 2019. That's right. Today is Thursday, June 27, 2019. And I cannot wait to take advantage of this amazing, incredible day. Because as you know, today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Thursday, June 27, 2019. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most of this incredible day. Fair enough? Fair enough. Let's make the absolute most of this incredible day. So I am back home after an incredible trip to West Virginia where I went to the VADA convention conference. Not quite sure which one to call it. I probably need to look that up and define the two. But I went to the VADA conference in West Virginia, stayed at the Greenbrier for 4 days with my family as we got to pour into people in the auto industry, and we got to learn so much from these incredible people in the auto industry at this historic place that's been around for 241 years. Can you believe that? Man, and it was crazy. So on the way back from this trip, because this is the first time that I ever took my family on one of these things, right? I was speaking as a keynote speaker, speaking on evolution or extinction, which are basically the two choices for businesses today, right? We've never lived in a society where things are moving so rapidly, where there is so much transparency. We've just never lived in a situation like we live in today. And so you really have two choices, evolution or extinction. That's it. There's no in between. You can't just keep doing what you've been doing. So I went in, got to keynote, got to talk about that, which was incredible. And just the whole experience was awesome. So on the way back, on our drive back, which is a 4.5 hour drive for those of you that don't have 6 kids, which, by the way, Scott, I meant to text you yesterday when I got home. I apologize. It's a 4.5 hour drive for those of you that don't have 6 kids. It's about a 6.5 to 7 hour drive for those of you like myself that do have 6 kids in the car with you. We wouldn't have had room probably for the 7th with all of our luggage. On the way back, my wife and I had some serious conversations. So we sat down, we took an inventory. We're like, okay, what did we do good? What did we do bad? And what's next? Those were the 3 questions, right? Because as my family goes through this transition, we're learning what our business looks like. And we're learning our values. We understand our values. And family time is one of our values. Raising these kids together is one of our values. Raising these kids to know and understand God is one of our values. Raising these kids to know and understand that there is a plethora of information out there and that there's an abundance of experiences is a value for us. I want my kids to travel the world. I want my kids to meet, spend time, and be around amazing individuals like Danelle Delgado, Lisa Copeland, Scott Simons, Liza Myers, Borges, all these names that you hear. These are my circle, right? My team, my squad. I want my kids around these people, the Brian Benstocks of the world, right? Because I want them to see that success leaves clues. I want them to see that they can win at the highest level humanly possible. I want them to see that there's no absence of abundance in the world. I want them to see that there's a lot more to this life than just where they live here in Paris, Kentucky. So we're like, okay, well, what did we do wrong? Or what did we do good? what did we do bad, and what do we do next? And that's something that I want you guys to take away this morning. If you don't even watch the rest of the show today, I want you to take this one little note. Okay, every day before you go to bed, you should be running an inventory. You should be running an inventory. What did I do good? What did I do bad? And what's next? Ask yourself those 3 questions every single night and be honest. Be really brutally honest with yourself. Like, what did I do good? Okay, great. I want to do more of that. What did I do bad? Okay, great. I'm not going to do any more of that. And then what's next? So I learned a lot. My wife and I asked ourselves those questions. I'm going to share some of those results with you here just in a minute. And it's a treasure trove of information that I learned that goes all the way from like how to travel properly with kiddos, all the way to some strategies and business ideas that you can and should use to make yourself a better and more successful human being on this incredible planet. But before we get too deep, I want to do some dancing this morning, because you see, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. That's right. I need you to hit that share button, because I believe if we could change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. This is also the part of the show where I'm going to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say what's up. I'll say what's up back. How you doing, Janelle Griego? What's up, Carrie Lynn Carter? How you doing, Don Sankey and Susan Rose? Susan Rose, I know you're working. I know you're working hard on becoming more confident. I know you're working hard on putting yourself out there more. And I just want to encourage you to continue to go down that road, because you are a powerful light on this planet. You are such an incredibly beautiful and unique human being, and the world needs more Susan Rose. What's up, Jesse Miller? What's up, Whitney Wells? How you doing, Vicky Tuttle Hembry? Robert Fuller, my man Jeremy Noling. Hope your wife's doing well, man. I'm praying for you and her. I hope she's on the recovery route. What's up, Leanne Rhinesmith? How you doing, Josh? Oh, Daryl Jackson's up in here. Brad Smith and Eric Willeroy. What's up, Scott Simons? How you doing, Shauna Phillips and Rhonda Phillips Wigglesworth? What's up, Samuel Jimenez? Who else is in here? Archie, I can never say your last name, but you're my man, Archie K. We're just going to call you Archie K. What's up, Nathaniel Banks? What's up, man? Everybody's up in here. How you doing, Sandra Benstock DeLogio? Nathaniel Banks, I hope your foot is coming together well. I hope it's repairing well. What's up, Tony Thorstad? Everybody's up in here on hashtag Rise and Grind. Will you do me a big favor? Hit a bunch of likes. Hit a bunch of hearts. I love seeing them. When you hit the likes, when you hit the hearts, when they pop up on my screen, it fills me, right? I start to get this energy. It just starts to kind of get me even going even more. I've already got a lot of energy, but I see the heart. I see the likes. I see your pictures. I think about you. I'm like, oh yeah, there's my man, Keith McKenzie. So great to see you, Keith. Keith has always been a big supporter of mine, and I love you, my man. We got to jump back on a call really, really soon. I see Cece. I'm like, hey, Cece, that's fuel, right? I see Carter Myers, the original OG Carter Myers up in here, and it just gives me this fuel so that I can pour into you at the level that you deserve every single morning, 5:30 a.m. here on hashtag Rise and Grind. Dude, my buddy Galen, he's got something to say to you.
Hey, I'm Galen Davis, the lead pastor right here at Cornerstone Nashville, and we have partnered with Glenn Lundy of Rise and Grind for Grow Your Business for God's Sake, which is going to be the largest business conference in Nashville, Tennessee this year. But there's a twist. It's not just a business conference. It's the largest business conference with a missional mindset. That's right. We want your business to go to a new level, not just for you, but for the betterment of everyone around you. What if your business could make a difference? What if your business could change people's lives? That's what it's all about at Grow Your Business for God's Sake. 8 phenomenal speakers, phenomenal people that will be investing all from different arenas of life into you. It's a 2-day moment, 8 crazy speakers, one of the largest productions you've seen to get you to where you need to be in your business so that you can make a difference. Look forward to seeing you right here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Grow your business for God's sake. That's my man Galen. If you haven't got your tickets yet, you need to go get them. You need to go get them. It's coming. I know you're like, oh, I'm going to do that. I need to do that. I haven't quite done that yet, but I'm telling you, you need to do that. I think we're down to like 8 weeks. We're down to like 8 weeks, and you're going to regret it if you miss it. I'm telling you. So go get your tickets, man. We have partnered up with Hunt Brothers. We partnered up with Hunt Brothers Pizza. We partnered up with Cornerstone Church, and we also partnered up with Courtyard, let me make sure I get this right, Courtyard Marriott of Goodlettsville. And the Courtyard Marriott of Goodlettsville is getting hotel rooms for the event in Nashville. The hotel rooms are only $99 a night. $99 a night. So the event starts Friday night and it ends Saturday night. So literally you could come down for one night down to Nashville for $99. Your ticket's $150. You're looking at $250 for a 2-day event. Grow your business for God's sake with some of the most powerful, amazing business people in all of the world, some of the most incredible speakers in all of the world. You can spend 2 days with them for $250. Are you kidding me? You can't beat it, dude. You can't beat it. What makes this thing so unique is our partnerships with people like Hunt Brothers Pizza that are absolutely amazing, and people like Galen Davis in the church. That's what allows us to do such a powerful, powerful conference at such an inexpensive price. So make sure you're a part of Grow Your Business for God's sake. Don't miss it. Get your tickets, get your room. Y'all need to be there. Go ahead and order it today. Fair enough? Listen, also, we have this thing called The Morning Five. This is a book that I wrote. If you do not have a copy of The Morning Five, it's completely free. Just go to themorning5.com. That's right, themorning5.com. And you can get yourself a copy of the 5 Simple Steps to an Extraordinary Life. This is kind of like the Bible of our group, hashtag Rise and Grind. This is the disciplines that I believe in, that I teach, and that I share. And it's broken down for you chapter by chapter, every single step of the way, so that you too can have an extraordinary life. And the last little note before we get into the message today is I want to make sure that you guys are here tomorrow morning as Carrie Kasem. That's right, the original Casey Kasem Top 40. His daughter is a powerful force on this planet, like an unbelievably powerful force on this planet. She is fighting the judicial systems. She is protecting elderly people. She is doing all of these amazing, incredible things. And she's been on the stage at 10X GrowthCon, which is where her and I met. And she will be on our show tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. here on hashtag Rise and Grind. So make sure you don't miss it. Listen, I learned so much over this last week. I brought the family. All of us went to West Virginia. We went and stayed at the Greenbrier, 241-year-old Greenbrier. We went there and we learned all kinds of amazing things. It was the VADA convention, which is the Virginia Automobile Dealers Association convention. Don Hall put the whole thing together. It's so elegant, so classy, right? Super, super classy, and just an incredible event. And real quick, I got to give a shout out to my boy Sean Hayes. Taya! Sean, what's up? Great to see you in here this morning. So, spent the last 6 days out there, and there's 6 things that I learned. Actually, I learned a lot, but there's 6 things I'm going to share with you today that I learned that I think are extra important and that you can apply in your life right here, right now, to get you to the next level. So the very first thing that I learned at VADA, I actually learned it just prior to VADA, but I applied it at VADA, and it was crucial to my success as a keynote speaker at the 2019 VADA convention. And the first thing, number one, Mike Brockway, if you're taking notes, so incredibly important that you know your audience. You must know your audience. You see, prior to going into the VADA convention, I had conversations. I had a conversation with Liza Myers-Borges, who is on the board for the VADA, and we talked about who's going to be in the chairs, who's in the seats, right? Because that's what matters most. I might have whatever message I want to deliver. I might have whatever words I need to share. I might have whatever I feel on my heart. But none of that matters if I don't pay attention to who's in the seats. Now, this isn't just applied when you're standing on a stage. This applies when you're trying to sell a car. This applies when you're trying to sell any product. This applies when you're making a post online. This applies when you're making an advertisement or from a marketing standpoint. You have got to know who's in the seat. Who are you talking to? You see, I knew that in the seats at VADA was going to be a little bit older crowd. We've got a lot of owners that have third generation owners, second generation owners, first generation owners. There's a lot of culture, a whole lot of history with the VADA group. So I knew the guys that were in the seats. And knowing who and girls that were in the seats and knowing the people that were in the seats, I was able to deliver a keynote speech that resonated with them. Not with me. It wasn't a keynote that resonated with me, although obviously it does, but ultimately it was a keynote that resonated with them. And by knowing and understanding who they were, what their mindset was, and what they needed most, how I can best serve them, I was able to deliver a presentation that I believe was probably one of the best that I've ever done. I was able to stand on the stage with the right information, with the right research, with the ability to serve them. And that's so key, my friend. How many times are you worried about what you think and what you want? How many times are you working in a car deal, you're trying to sell somebody something, and you're hitting the highlights that matter to you? You're going over the features of the car that you think are cool, or you're hitting the thing on the cell phone or the mattress or the whatever that you think's important. Not going to sell you nothing. It won't. It's not going to sell you nothing. Know your audience, know your market. I read this thing the other day about Facebook advertising. You can make you can take the prettiest picture, mix it with the best words and content of all, right? Like say you want to sell dog toys. You can take a pretty picture and you can make a great ad about dog toys. But if you shoot the ad out and it goes in front of somebody who doesn't have a dog, you're not going to sell nothing, right? So it doesn't matter. Your presentation doesn't matter. Your ferocity, your conviction, none of that matters if your audience doesn't fit what you're selling. So that was one of the big things that I learned at the VADA convention. The first big thing is know your audience. And shout out to Liza for making sure I was informed. Shout out to Lisa Copeland, my girl Lisa Copeland, for making sure that I was informed. Lisa had been at VADA last year. She took a poll of the audience. She shared that information with me, and it made for a hit. It really made for a hit. Second thing that I learned while going to the VADA convention at the Greenbrier this past week in West Virginia, second thing that I learned is that you must listen. That's right. You heard me. You must listen to your mentors. Listen to your mentors. A lot of you, especially in this particular group, because this is the Rise and Grind group, this is a different breed of human being, but a lot of you have mentors. You know the power of a mentor. You know the power of a team. You listen to motivational videos in the morning. You listen to Eric Thomas. You listen to Les Brown. You listen to John Maxwell. You listen to Tony Robbins. You listen to Jim Rohn, right? A lot of you guys listen and you hear it, but then you don't ever really apply it in your life. And I'm here to tell you, you really need to listen to the mentors, the people around you that are going to shoot you straight, the ones that are going to tell you the truth. You need to listen to them and then apply it in your life. My friend Danelle Delgado, when I was in Greece, Danelle taught me a lot of things about my business, but then Danelle also looked me straight in the eye and was like, Glenn, you're a good speaker, but you can be a great speaker. She said, you move around too much on stage. You're pacing too much. It's not intentional in your movements. The different things that you're doing with your hands, they're not intentional. They don't fall in line with the words that are coming out of your mouth. My friend Hank Norman told me, look, dude, your inflection, like you got to draw me in, you got to slow it down, and then you got to bring me back out. You got to speed things back up. You got to take me on this roller coaster emotionally with your volume, with your veracity, with the way that you deliver the message. You can't just be excited all the time, and you can't just be monotone and lame. Like, I need you to take me on a journey, the really, really high highs and the really, really low lows. And so I took this advice from my incredible mentors, the amazing people that I have in my life. I took their advice and I applied it at VADA. I applied it when I was on the stage. I was more intentional about where I walked, when I walked, what I did with my hands, making laser focused eye contact with as many people in the audience as humanly possible. I know it sounds silly, but I learned all these little things from my mentors and I applied them. And as I applied them, I felt the audience resonate. I felt the connection. So the second thing that I really learned that I wanted to share with you is listen to those that have been there. Listen to your mentors. And if you don't have good mentors, you need to work on getting good mentors. I'm telling you, it's super, super important. But listen to what they have to say and actually apply it in your life. The third thing, constant reminder. I always get reminded of this, and it always shocks me every single time. Every single time I am reminded of this, it shocks me how profound it is, how simple it is, but yet how profound it is. So early on day one of the conference, I met a gentleman named Seth. And I shook hands with Seth. We had a brief conversation that very first day that I was there. We just talked about a couple little things, where he was working, what he was doing, so on and so forth. Brief conversation, maybe 4 minutes, tops. Didn't talk long. Then, fast forward, last day of the event. So I met him on Sunday night. Last day of the event was Tuesday night. So Tuesday night, we're at this big Alice in Wonderland party. There's hundreds of people there. There's Mad Hatters. There's little bunny rabbits hopping around. There's the kids got candy. There's bouncy houses. There's all of these things. And I'm sitting at the table, and I turn and I see Seth. And he goes, hey, man, great job. Loved your speech. Loved what you were talking about. Super valuable information. Really hit home. Really resonated with me. Thank you so much. And guess what I said? I said, hey, I appreciate that, Seth. Thanks for sharing, Seth. And as soon as I said his name, his eyes lit up. Pow! And he even said to me, he said, Glenn, now that's impressive. Now that's impressive. And he walked off, and I realized that, yes, I knew my audience. And yes, I delivered a great message. And yes, I listened to my mentors on how I presented my message. And yes, he thought it was a great presentation and a great speech. But what impressed him was that I remembered his name. That's what impressed him most, is that I remembered the guy's name. 2 days later, after a 4-minute conversation surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of people, I remember the guy's name. And I thought this morning, man, I got to remind you how important it is to not only remember people's name, but to use their name. Use their name in conversations. I watched as Liza works the room, Scott Simons works the room, Brian Benstock works the room, Danelle Delgado works the room, Lisa Copeland works the room. These people, these mentors that I follow, that I listen, that I watch, dude, they say people's names all the time. They remember their names. They say their names. I catch it when they're talking to me. They say my name all the time, and it resonates with me. It makes me want to connect with them. It develops a deep, trusting relationship. Remember people's names and use them frequently. Right, Gail? See, Gail understands. Right, Eddie? Eddie understands. Right, Jeff Baker? Jeff Baker understands. See, when you use somebody's name, it triggers something inside them. It's different. It's unique. So rule number 3 that I learned this week at the Greenbrier is use people's names, dude. I know it sounds simple, but use their stinking names. Right, Tony? Right, Tony. All right, number 4. Always, and I mean always, deliver your best. You never know who's watching. Ever. Ever. You never know. You never know who's watching. Whether it's an audience of 2 or an audience of 2,000 or an audience of 20,000. You treat it all the same every single time. I went into the VADA convention with the intention. I was prepped. I was ready. I was prepared. I had rehearsed. I had practiced. I didn't know how many people were going to be there, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter. And as I was sitting there waiting to go up on stage, there's some empty seats and people move around. It's kind of a motion type conference. And as people are moving around, I'm thinking, okay, great. I don't care if everybody leaves this room but 2 people. I'm going to deliver my best presentation possible. And I did. I went up there. I gave it everything that I got. I impacted. I connected. I paid attention to my walk. I paid attention to my talk. Paid attention to my content. I read my audience. I made eye contact. Right? I did all of the things that I had to do. And afterwards, dude, the next 2 days, because I got to speak day 1, for the next 2 days, I had multiple people come up to me from huge, major, massive corporations that now are asking for Glenn Lundy to come speak to their organizations that have thousands and thousands of employees across this nation. They now want Glenn Lundy to come speak to their people. I didn't know they were in the audience. I didn't know these particular people were watching. All I knew is I was going to deliver my best no matter what. I was going to over deliver no matter who was in the audience. And now I'm being rewarded for that by picking up more gigs on an even bigger platform, on an even bigger stage. So my lesson for you this morning is you never know who's watching. You might be working with one customer over here and somebody's watching over here that's going to change your life. You never know that there might be somebody in a chair that you don't even know is there, but they're listening to your conversation. Or there might be somebody that right now is strolling through your social media feeds. You don't know who is watching, but there could be one person, one connection. You could be one step away from the most extraordinary life you could possibly imagine. And all it takes is you being your absolute best, delivering to an audience of 2 the same way that you would deliver to an audience of 2 million. The exact same way. That's number 4 on my list today, is make sure that you always deliver your best every single time. We're going to run out of time, so I better get to number 5 and number 6 really quick. Number 5, this is for anybody that has kids, anybody that so on and so forth. Family travel requires an agenda. Just so you know, when you travel with a bunch of babies, you need to have an agenda in place. This is something my wife and I didn't do so well. My wife and I kind of tried to wing it, and it didn't work out very well, right? We had some great moments, but the kids got stuck in the hotel rooms for hours with 6 kids and a couple of hotel rooms. You can only imagine. The Greenbrier's been there for 241 years. My kids managed to destroy a small area in 4 days. Because when we kept them contained, it was crazy. So word to the wise, all you parents out there, if you're going to travel with your kids, you need to have an agenda. Keep those little suckers busy, right? That's something my wife and I didn't do a very good job of. Last thing, number 6. Just like the Greenbrier, I was so impressed with the adaptability of the Greenbrier. I was so impressed with the history of the Greenbrier, how this place over 241 years has molded and shaped itself to be so many different things, to stay in business and to continue to win. And so number 6, probably the most important of the entire list, is I want you to make sure that every single day you are rising in a way that you begin to evolve into the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be, so you can go out there and make a massive impact on this planet. Hear me one more time. Every single day, I need you to rise in a way that you evolve into the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be, so you can go out there and make an impact on this planet. It is the ability to transform, to adapt, to evolve, and to mold that is going to determine your success long term. if you are not adaptable, if you are not evolving and growing so that you can make an impact, not for yourself, but for others, then you, my friend, are close to extinction. You're close to extinction. You'll come and you'll go, and no one will ever know the wiser. You will come and you will go, and your impact will not be left. Your footprint will not be left on this planet. The Greenbrier's been here for 241 years because they've been a golf course, they've been a hospital, they have a casino, they've been a hotel, they've been a political meeting place, they've been the White House of the South, they've got a bunker there to house Congress people. They've been so many different things. That's how they've been around for 241 years. And it's the companies and the people that refuse to change, that refuse to evolve, that refuse to adapt to the changing climates. Those are the ones that become extinct. So my question to you today is, are you going to evolve? Are you going to go through the evolutionary process? Or are you going to go through a process of extinction? Because those are your only two choices. Those are literally your only two choices in today's day and age: evolution or extinction. It's up to you. Number 1, know your audience. Number 2, listen to your mentors. Number 3, memorize people's names and use them frequently. Number 4, always deliver your best. You never know who's watching. Number 5, family travel requires an agenda. Stick to it. Number 6, make sure you rise, evolve, and go out there and make an impact, because see, you, my friend, are a child of God. You understand this? The God of the universe, the God who made everything. He made you to be the absolute best version of yourself you can possibly be. Not an average version, not a so-so version, not a little bit subpar, not a little bit above, but the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And I know you're already starting to make some good decisions. You're watching hashtag Rise and Grind. You're in the Rise and Grind group. You're inviting people in to the Rise and Grind group. You're smiling at people. You're creating new ideas. You're selling more. You're getting better in your businesses and your presentation. I know that you're doing all of these things, and I want to assure you this morning, as your friend, I want to make sure that you know that these things that seem small to you, these little decisions that you're making every single day, they're making an impact. They're making an impact on your friends, on your family members, on your co-workers, and they've made a massive impact on me, and I, for one, absolutely love you for it. I do. I absolutely stinking love you. If nobody's told you that yet today, I get to be the first. Love you. I want you to have an incredible day today. Go out there and freaking crush it. Give it your best. Have an amazing, over-the-top, phenomenal, outstanding day today. And then do me a favor. Come back here again tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. We're going to do it all over again on hashtag Rise and Grind.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. Hashtag Rise and Grind.